Gopikantam Radhakantam Namaste Dr. Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Bhaktya Vihina Parana Akshay Kshiptascha Kamalitaranga Madhye Kripamayitam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanara Vajami Radha Maravinda Netram Smarami Radha Madhura Smitasyam Vadami Radha Karuna Baradram Tato Mamanyasti Gati Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 First of all, my sister and Dharpana, Thalmatan, Lordship of Paramaradam, Guru Paramarmam, Supar, Shima, Bhakti Vedanta Narayana, Maharaj, second of my sister and Dharpana, Thalmatan, Lordship of Shri Rupana, Gauri Guru Vargana, my sister and Dharpana, Continuing reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, sloka 29. Bhaktaram Yagyata Pasam, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Gyatva Mam Shantim Ritchati. He who knows me to be the enjoyer of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme controller of all planets, and the well-wisher of all jivas attains moksha. Bhavanuvad. Like the Jnani, such a yogi also attains moksha by knowledge of Paramatma, which appears through Bhakti. This is stated in the sloka beginning with the word Bhaktaram. I am the enjoyer of the yajna performed by the karmi. I am the sustainer of tapasya performed by the jnani. I am the worshipful object of karmis, jnanis and yogis, and I am Antaryami, the only supreme controller, Maheshwara of all the planets. I am the well-wisher of all jivas, because through my bhaktas I mercifully bestow instructions on bhakti. The knowledge of Bhakti Tattva comes from where? From heart of the devotee. Bhagavan speaks to his devotees. For this reason, know me to be the worshipful object of devotees also. Since I am Nirgun, it is not possible to realize me in Gyan or Sattva Guna. In Srimad Bhagavatam I declare, Bhaktyaham ekaya grahayam. I can be achieved only through Bhakti. Only through Nirgun Bhakti can the yogis realize my partial aspect, Paramatma, as their worshipful object, and attain Shanti or Moksha. Jnanis and Karma yogis attain knowledge of both the Jivatma and Paramatma through Nishkam Karma, and so attain Mukti. This is the essence of this chapter. Thus ends the Bhavanavad of the Saratha Varshini Tika by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on the 5th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. It gives pleasure to the Bhaktas and is accepted by all sentient persons. Prakashika Vritti. The Nishkam Karma yogis also attain moksha by knowledge of Paramatma, which appears through Bhakti. Sri Bhagavan is the only enjoyer of articles offered with Bhakti at the time of Yajna and Tapasya. He, Antaryami, is indeed the worshipful object of the yogis, the well-wisher of all jivas, and he is Maheshwar, the supreme controller of all planets. Tam Ishvaranam Paramam Maheshwaram, Tam Devatanam Paramam Chadaivatam, Patim Patinam Paramam Parastat, Vidama Devam Bhuvanesham Dharkivyam. Svatashvara Upanishad. We know our worshipful Lord, who is the master of the worlds, to be the supreme amongst all controllers, supreme Lord of lords, and the supreme protector of those who can award protection. He is transcendental to impersonal Brahma. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, after hearing the first 4 chapters, a doubt could arise. If one attains moksha as the result of Nishkam Karma Yoga, then what place does Jnana Yoga have? And how does it manifest? Asking a very valid question. If we can attain mukti through Nishkam Karma Yoga, doing karma in a selfless way, then what is the purpose of Jnana Yoga? Why then do Jnana Yoga? The instructions in this chapter have been spoken to remove this doubt. Jnana Yoga or Sankhya Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga and Nishkam Karma Yoga are non-different from each other, for they share the same supreme goal, namely Bhakti. In other words, wherever the word yoga is there, ultimately that is on the yoga system, the path leading towards Bhakti Yoga. Karma Yoga will lead to Jnana Yoga, Jnana Yoga will lead to Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, all these paths ultimately have the same goal, that is Bhakti. In the initial stages of Nishkam Karma Yoga, karma predominates over Jnana. And in the final stage, Jnana Yoga, Jnana predominates over karma. By constitutional nature, the jiva is a pure conscious entity. So basically, depending on your adhikar, you will have to act. If you have inclination for karma, then you should engage in Nishkam Karma Yoga. That will purify your heart and lead you to Bhakti. If you have more of an inclination for Jnana, more Jnana Nishta, then you don't need to perform karma. Only whatever is necessary. You can focus more on Jnana. So it depends on your adhikar. But ultimately, these three, they lead to the same thing. By constitutional nature, the jiva is a pure conscious entity. However, he becomes bound by inert matter because he desires to enjoy Maya. And as he identifies himself with matter, he gradually falls from his constitutional position. As long as this material body exists, material action is necessary. The only way for the Bhatta Jiva to attain liberation is through Chit Chesta, or the endeavor to revive his constitutional state. To the same degree of intensity with which he makes efforts to revive his original conscious state, during his journey within the material body, the predominance of karma becomes weak. Brahma Nirvanam, deliverance from mundane bondage and contact with the pleasure of Brahma, appears automatically while performing sadhana to develop equal vision, detachment, control over mundane lust and anger, and the eradication of all doubts. While practicing karma yoga as well as maintaining the body, one can also perform Ashtanga yoga sadhana, which is comprised of the 8 processes: Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pratyahar, Pranayam, Dhyan, Dharana, and Samadhi. The bliss of Bhagavad Bhakti gradually manifests during the performance of such sadhana. If one attains association of a Bhakta. This is called Mukti Purvika Shanti, everlasting peace accompanied by Mukti. Here Mukti means being situated in one's own Sarup. At that time, the tendency to perform bhajan eliminates the glory of the constitutional nation of the jiva. So basically, even though these paths ultimately lead to bhakti, but there's gradations. One has to act according to one's adhikar. Therefore, these different paths have been given. Although karma yoga and jnana yoga, their goal is bhakti, still according to your tendency and your nature, you will have to act. But that if you have a tendency to karma and you try to give up that karma by engaging in jnana yoga, then it will not be beneficial. And someone who is adhikar, a high adhikar, who has no attachment for karma, then there is no necessity for him to do karma. He can fully focus himself on cultivating the soul, jnana yoga. And ultimately, if one has bhakti adhikar, then there is definitely no need to engage in karma and jnana. So therefore, these different paths are given there for the jivas, the unlimited varieties of jivas with unlimited different tendencies and adhikars. So these 3 general adhikars have been given: karma, jnana, and bhakti. In this way, jiva, according to his nature, he will have to act. Even in bhakti, karma and jnana is there. Ultimately, in bhakti, jnana manifests in the form of samanta jnana, knowledge of our relationship with the Lord, well and knowledge jivas. And ultimately, it manifests in the spiritual world as specific knowledge, specific relationship with the Lord. Like Nanda Baba, Mother Yashoda, they think I am Nanda Krishna's mother, I am their father. Others will think I am related in this way. There will be some relationship based on the sambandha atmika friend. And in the sadhana stage here, specifically knowledge will manifest also in the form of tattva jnana. It's only sambandha jnana, but tattva jnana also. Learning what is tattva siddhanta, what is all the Bhagavad tattva, Vaishnava tattva, Maya tattva. All this knowledge you will have to also learn, accumulate. In this way, it will help one become detached, help one become focused on the path. Help one, it is favorable for the cultivation of bhakti. But even then, ultimately, Brahma said, Jnana prayas mudapasyanamanteva. Give up this endeavor for jnana. Ultimately, on the higher levels, then this tattva jnana also manifests only as sambandha, relationships. And karma, we have heard this, discussed this before, karma is always happening. The maintenance of body is karma only. If you do not maintain the body, then what will happen? You cannot do bhakti, sadhana. So you have to maintain your body. This karma is therefore not covering your bhakti, but it is supportive and helpful of our bhakti. Now we start chapter 6. Dhyan Yoga. Yoga through meditation. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karotiya sa sannyasi cha yogicha nani ragya na chakriya. This is Krishna's definition in the Gita of who is sannyasi. Sri Bhagavan said, those who perform prescribed duties without desiring the results of their actions are actual sannyasis and yogis. Those who cease performing yajna, such as the Agnihotra yajna, are not sannyasis. And those who merely abandon all bodily activities are not yogis. Simply giving up externally karma does not make you detached, does not make you a sannyasi. But someone who acts always in a detached manner, he is a real sannyasi. Similarly, someone who might externally give up all bodily activity, but that doesn't make him a yogi. Someone who utilizes all his bodily function in Krishna service, then he is the real yogi. Who utilizes everything for the purpose of self-realization. That person is a real yogi. Simply externally giving up the bodily function will not be enough. Bhavanubhava. The 6th chapter deals with various types of yoga performed by yogis whose minds are self-controlled. It also explains the means to control the flickering mind. A person who is engaged in the practice of Ashtanga Yoga, the eightfold yoga system, should not suddenly give up nishkam karma, selfless action, which purifies the heart. For this reason, Sri Bhagavan says, those who perform their prescribed duties, knowing them to be obligatory, without desiring the results, and who have renounced the fruits of their actions, are actual sannyasis. Since their minds are free from desires for sense enjoyment, such persons are also called yogis. Niragni means that the person is not called a sannyasi simply because he has abandoned all karma action, such as performance of the Agnihotra yajna. Akriya means that the person is not called a yogi simply because he has given up all bodily activities and sits motionless with half-closed eyes. Prakashika vritti. Ashtanga Yoga was described in a condensed sutra form in 3 slokas at the end of the 5th chapter. In the 6th chapter, the subject of these 3 slokas is explained in detail. In other words, in the end of the 5th chapter, Krishna was setting the scene for the next chapter. Now we're going to describe about the process of yoga, meditation through Ashtanga Yoga. And now the 6th chapter is going to go into that more detail. The word Agnihotra mentioned in the commentary is a special type of Vedic yajna, performed to satisfy the Agni Devata. According to this procedure, at the end of a marriage ceremony, the Brahmana should perform a yajna by establishing the fire and chanting Vedic mantras prescribed for the spring season. At that time, one makes a determined vow to perform the yajna with some particular substance, such as ghee. After that, it should be performed with that substance only for the rest of one's life. On the Amavasya dark moon night, the person has to perform the yajna himself with barley water. On other days, there is no discrepancy, even if there is some variation. When one has performed 100 yajnas, one must perform a yajna to the sun during the morning and to the fire at twilight. It is imperative to commence Dasha Purnamas yajna while meditating on the fire on the first full moon day. Besides that, one has to perform 3 yagyas on the Purnima and 3 on the Amavasya. And must perform these 6 yagyas for the rest of his life. The Shakpat Brahmana section of the Vedas explains in great detail the results obtained in performing this yagya. These kind of yagyas were performed previously in other ages. In Kali Yuga now, who will be doing 6 yagyas a day on Purnimasi and Amavasya? Therefore, for Vaishnavas, we're not doing 6 yagyas a day. Our whole life is a yagya. Every minute, every second is yagya, sacrifice and dedication. So therefore, we engage in constant Kirtaniya Sadahari. One who is always chanting, that he is always engaged in Sankirtan yagya, 24 hours a day. This is the topmost yagya. Shloka 2. Yam sanyasam iti prahur yogam tam vidhi pandava. Nahya asanyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaschana. O Arjuna, know that what the wise call Nishkam Karma Yoga is none different from Karma Sannyas. Because one who is unable to give up the desire for the fruits of action in sense enjoyment can never become a yogi. Bhavanubha, to renounce the fruits of action is the factual meaning of the word sannyas. And to stabilize the mind so that it is not disturbed by sense objects is the meaning of the word yoga. Therefore, the meaning of both sannyas and yoga is one. Those who are, in other words, the ultimate purpose of becoming detached from the fruits of one's action is to stabilize the mind, so that one can remember Krishna. If you're always hankering, then how can you remember the Lord? You'll always be hankering and thinking about the object of the senses. When will this happen? When will I get this? Or have so many plans in your heart and mind, so many desires, and then you'll have on your book, on your calendar, this date mark, looking forward to, this day is coming, I'll do this thing, that day is coming, I'll do that thing. I'm going to do this, that. 1 year, we have a 1 month plan, 6 month plan, 1 year plan, 10 year plan, so many plans, and we're trying to fulfill our desires. But someone who is, so the mind in that stage, how can you think of Krishna? You may think for a little bit, but then when something related to your desire comes up, then immediately you will run there to that thing. Immediately. It will not take long you to give up. Bhakti at that point is, you're doing it for time pass. But if you give up all other desires and make bhakti your permanent desire, then what will happen? The mind will be under control and you will always be able to think and remember Krishna. Without giving up the desire, there may never be any peace of mind. How you will not be able to remember it. It's like, example, like people they come to India, they stay 1 month, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, 1 year, 2 years. And they're just going, staying here and doing their thing. But then something comes up, some opportunity to go to the West comes, then immediately, then when it becomes finalized, okay, I'm actually going to go. Then once it is already decided in the mind that I have to go, then everything else here in the temple becomes like unpalatable and you become restless. Okay, when am I going? And you cannot do your bhakti anymore. But you're already there in the West. So this is the case. So the ultimate purpose of Nishkam Karma Yoga is to actually purify your heart to such a degree that you can constantly remember Krishna. Then you are a real yogi, then you are a real sannyasi. Those who are asanyasta sankalpa, who have neither given up the desire for the fruits of their action nor the desire for sense enjoyment, can never be called yogis. Slok 3. Arurukshor muner yogam karma karanam uchyate. Yoga ruddhasya tasyaiva shama karanam uchyate. For a sage who is aspiring to become situated in unwavering dhyan yoga, Nishkam Karma is said to be the sadhana. And when he ascends to that stage of yoga called dhyan nishta, steadiness in meditation, renouncing actions which distract his mind from dhyan is said to be the sadhana. So, someone who wants to be able to perform dhyan yoga, one wants to be able to constantly meditate, think of Krishna. The Nishkam Karma is the sadhana. Means by doing that, then you'll be able to, the Nishta and Dhyan will come. Firm faith in meditation. And then once you are meditating, then anything that is unfavorable for your meditation, then that is your sadhana, renouncing it. So that is, in Bhakti Yoga, there's only one aspect of sadhana. Not even there is only one aspect of sadhanagati. Anukulyasa sankalpa pratikulyasa vivartanam. Giving up that which is unfavorable to bhakti. Devotees naturally follow this process. Anything that will disturb one's mind from remembering Krishna, the devotee will give those things up, not acting those things. But Sharanagati itself is only a step, a great way, a doorway to achieving pure bhakti. In Bhakti Yoga there is only one sadhana, that is bhakti itself. Devotion is the sadhana. Bhaktya sanjayate bhakti. By doing bhakti you get bhakti. Therefore one has to engage in devotional service. And slowly as the heart becomes purified, the more devotion will become deeper and deeper, then pure devotion will manifest in the heart. Everything else is only side effects of this. Bhavanuvar, one may question whether or not an Ashtanga yogi of the quality mentioned in Gita 6.1 must perform Nishkam karma for the rest of his life. That doubt is removed by this sloka beginning with the word Aruksaho, which establishes a limit for Nishkam karma. Whenever Nishkam karma will lead you to Dhyan Yoga. Once your heart is purified and you start remembering the Lord, then that remembrance becomes your sadhana, becomes your function. Then you are engaged fully in Dhyan Yoga. Nishkam karma is only a stepping stone to achieve this Dhyan. Dhyan is again of different types. Smaran, Dharan, Apan, Dhyan, Dhruvanusmriti, Samadhi. There are different stages of Smaran. Muni means that in order for aspirants to become situated in yoga, they must perform Nishkam karma because it purifies the heart. Once they have attained steadiness in meditation, they must then stop performing any action which may distract them. Those who desire to attain Dhyan Yoga but whose minds are not yet completely purified should perform Nishkam karma. Prabhupada in his commentary to the 8th chapter Upadeshamrita, Tannama Rupa Charitari Sukirtananu Smrityo Kramena Manasar Smrityo Kramena Rasana Manasi Miyoja Kistam Prajeta Anuragi Nanugami Kalame Akilam Ityupadeshmana. He says Smrityo, one should remember the holy names, and here he describes the 5 kinds of Smaran. Basic, we have Smaran. Smaran, Dharan, Dhyan, Dhruvanusmriti, Samadhi. 5 stages. Smaran is the beginning stage and you try to remember. Remembrance is very short. It's only for a very short period of time and it is very unsteady. It can be easily broken. And when that Smaran deepens and becomes Dharan, then that meditation becomes more consistent, longer time, and also it is not broken so easily. And when we come to Dhyan, Dhyan then means constant meditation, it's constant remembrance. And he's pretty fixed in that. His mind will not waver. His meditation will not break so easy. When we go from Dhyan to Dhruvanusmriti, that time he is actually very deeply absorbed, internal consciousness. And it is very continuous and constant, and he cannot be broken from that meditation. Hardly. Very hard to break his meditation concentration. But ultimately then from Dhruvanusmriti to Samadhi, stage of Samadhi, then one is fully absorbed in one's internal Sarup. And only by the desire of the Lord can one come out of that meditation. It's continuous, eternal, always. And therefore, the Vaishnava, when he meditates, he goes into deep, does his bhajan. It's only by the Lord's desire that he comes out of that Samadhi. And when the Lord doesn't want that Vaishnava come out of his Samadhi anymore, that's when his body is placed in the Samadhi. Because he is constantly remembering. So that the Vaishnava leaves his body. He becomes so totally absorbed in the spiritual reality that he is eternally always present there. And Krishna and Radhika don't send him back anymore. That's when the body has to be placed. When the Vaishnavas do their bhajan, they always enter into samadhi. They are present there in the spiritual world and their body is here. But because Krishna and Radhika's desire, therefore they come back to their consciousness here. But when Radha and Krishna don't desire that anymore, they want that their eternal associate remain with them there in the spiritual world, that's when it is called entering into Giridhari. This samadhi is the ultimate attainment of smaran, is the ultimate stage. So Nishkam karma is the process to purify your heart so you can begin to perform smaran, dharan, dhyan, go through these stages. So you can begin to remember. Without smartavyam satata vishnur vismartavyam nijatachit. Sarva vidhi nishedashur edayaya kinkaram. Without purity of the heart, you cannot remember Krishna at all. You cannot even begin to perform smaran. Therefore, Nishkam karma yoga is very beneficial. Most people have this karma adhikar. They need to purify their hearts. But Vaishnavas, they are not satisfied with Nishkam karma yoga. Anyone they see, they want to engage them in directly bhakti. This is their desire. If there is any inclination at all, any chance, they will engage them. Somehow or not. Even if they don't have inclination, they will still engage them. By their love and affection, they will bind them to them. Engage them. Somehow or not, they will engage them. They know that millions of lifetimes can go past by doing so-called sadhanas. Nishkam karma yoga, all these things. But by bhakti yoga, in one lifetime, very quickly you can attain all perfection. Therefore, the symptom of bhakti is that wherever he goes, he speaks about bhakti. Whoever he meets. So always shooting for the rhino. He's saying in English, shoot for the rhino. When you go hunting, you try to capture tiger or a buffalo or a wolf or this or that. There is no prestige in that. You bring that back and take something. But you go hunting for the rhinoceros is the most dangerous and hardest to kill animal in the animal kingdom. It's the most prestigious. So you shoot for the rhino, means you go try to get the rhinoceros. Why? Because if you get it, then you will attain all wealth and fame. You will be set. But if you fail, there will be no infamy. Why? Because everyone will know, oh, he was trying the rhino, of course he failed. It is taken for granted that you must fail. It's so difficult to kill the rhinoceros. So shooting for the rhino means always shoot for the highest thing. So the Vaishnavas, they're always shooting for the highest thing. They want to give this Radha Dasyam, this Unnata Ujjala Prem, to even the most fallen Bandav, Raj Prem. Therefore, they're always encouraging in this way. And if something will stick, if they're able to accept something, then it's a great success. They don't want to do any kind of welfare work or social work. It's never satisfying. Even if it is successful, it's not satisfying to the heart, not satisfying to Maharaj, Radha, Krishna. Therefore, they're always trying to give this topmost work. Prakashika Vritti. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, yoga is compared to a unique ladder. The lowest rung is compared to the life of the jiva, caught in degraded worldliness, in which his consciousness is absorbed in mundane matter. This yoga ladder consists of the steps from that level up to the stage where the jiva is in pure consciousness. The various rungs on the ladder have different names, but yoga is a common term for them all. This yoga has two divisions, for two types of yogis. One for the yoga Aruruksha Munis who desire to practice yoga and who have just begun climbing the ladder. Nishkam karma is said to be the only means. And two, for an Arudha yogi who has already ascended the ladder and achieved perfection in yoga, the only aim is the attainment of shama, cessation of desire for fruitive karma, or eternal bliss. Their only desire is to achieve this eternal bliss, which automatically includes the cessation of desire for fruitive karma. These two gross divisions are called karma and shanti. In other words, performance of Nishkam karma yoga and eternal bliss are their respective goals. So there are so many different adhikas, so many different stages. Ultimately, the ultimate stage is to achieve this bhakti yoga, this eternal bliss, ananda Ananda Purivardhana Pratipana. This transit the place which is always increasing. Yadahi Nendriya Arteshu Na Karmas Anusajjate Sarva Sankalpa Sannyasi Yoga Rudhas Tavachate. A Tyagi who has become free from attachment to the sense objects and the performance of action is called Yoga Arudha, adept in yoga. For he has given up all desires and the fruits of his action. Bhavanubha, only those whose hearts have become completely pure are called Yoga Arudha. In this sloka beginning with the word Yadahi, Sri Bhagavan is explaining the symptoms of such a person. Indriya Ardesu means that they are neither attached to sense objects such as sound, nor to actions which are the means of attaining those sense objects. Now he is describing the symptoms of a tyagi or yogi. Uddhare atmanatmanam na atmanam avasadayat. Atmaiva hi atmana bandhur atmaiva ripur atmanam. One must deliver the self by detaching his mind from the material world and not allow it to degrade him, because the mind can be the friend and also the enemy of the Jivatma. Otherwise, one must detach one's mind from this world, because if you are constantly remembering the objects of this world, you will become degraded. The mind can be a great friend, but also a great enemy. If you allow it to go down the wrong path, it will become your worst enemy. Bhavanubha, the self-atma falls into the ocean of the material world only because of attachment to sense objects. With great endeavor, one must deliver the self. Atmana, the mind which is detached from sense objects, delivers Atmana, the Jiva. Na avasarayat means that the mind which is attached to sense objects should not cause the Atma to fall into the material ocean. In this way, the Atma, mind, is the friend and also the enemy of the Jiva. Prakashika Vritti, the mind which is free from any attachment is one's friend, and the mind which is full of attachment is one's enemy. It is said, Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo bandaya vishaya sankho muktya nirvishayam manaha amrita bindu upanishad. A man's mind is the sole cause of bondage and of moksha. A mind absorbed in sense objects causes bondage, and when it is detached from them, it is the cause of mukti. Sloka 6. Bandhur atma atmanas tasya yen aitmava atmana jita. Anatmanatu satrutve vartate atmaiva satruvat. So one who has conquered his mind, the mind is his friend, but for the Jivatma who has no control over his mind, it works against him just like an enemy. In other words, you have no control over your mind, you try to do good things, but your mind is thinking of bad things, and you become disturbed and unable to perform those things. And it may also lead you down the wrong path. It may encourage you to perform these sinful activities. Bhavanubha, whose friend and whose enemy is the mind? To answer this, Sri Bhagavan is speaking this sloka, beginning with the word Bandhuhu. For the Atma, that is the Jiva who has conquered his mind, the mind is his friend. But for one who is Anatma, whose mind is uncontrolled, it acts harmfully like an enemy. Sloka 7. So, if one's mind is under control, it is one's friend because it allows you to remember Krishna, and if your mind is uncontrolled, it is like one's enemy because it's always engaging you thinking in mundane things. Jita atmana prasantasya paramatma samahita sitoshna sukha dukkeshu tata manapamanayo. One whose mind is controlled is free from the dualities of heat and cold, happiness and misery, honor and dishonor, attachment and envy. The Atma of such a yogi is deeply absorbed in samadhi. Now, in these next three slokas, the characteristic of one who is yoga arudha are being described. A person who is jita atmanaha, one who has conquered his mind, and prasanta, free from attachment, envy and so forth, is properly situated in samadhi and is not disturbed by heat or cold, honor or dishonor. Prakashika Vritti. In the original sloka, the word Paramatma does not mean Parameshwar, Paramatma. but it indicates the Atma or the Jivatma. Here the meaning of the word Parama with the word Samahitaha is that a person endowed with the above symptoms is deeply absorbed in Samadhi. Both Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur and Srila Baladev Bhushan have said that the word Parama here indicates intensity. Meaning the Atma which is intensely absorbed in meditation. In other words, engaged in Samadhi. So in this shloka, the word Paramatma here means that the Atma is deeply absorbed in Samadhi. That is why hearing the scriptures from the lotus lips of a Sadguru is imperative. Because you try to discern the meaning of the word yourself, then the direct meaning can be elusive and also deluding. Whereas the true meaning of the Sanskrit of the verse that remains hidden. Therefore, only the Vaishnavas have the key to unlock the true meaning of the verse. Jnana Vijnana Tripatma Kudasta Vijitendriya Yukta It Uchate Yogi Sama Loshta Ashma Kanchana. A person whose mind is satisfied by Jnana and Vijnana, whose consciousness is unaffected by material transformations, who has conquered the senses, and who looks equally upon sand, stone and gold, is Yoga Arudha, adept in the path of yoga. Bhavanuva, those whose hearts have become free from hankering and are satisfied due to having both Gyan, knowledge, and Vigyan, direct realization of this knowledge, are Kutastaha. That is, they are always situated in the true nature of their selves, and remain detached from all mundane objects. For them, a grain of sand, gold, and so on are all the same. Prakashika Vritti, Kutastaha means Kala Vyapisa Kutastaha Eka Rupataya Tuyaha. One who is devoid of sensual disturbance and eternally remains situated in his own Sarup is called Kutastaha. There are also many different meanings for this word also. In some words in the Bhagavad, this word is used. Our Acharya given Rasik meanings also. Like Kuta means hill, that we say Annakut. So Kutastha means that, in terms of Krishna, means that Krishna is always residing in the banks of Giridhari Govardhan. Stha means to be situated. He's always there on the banks of Giridhari Govardhan. He is called Kutastha. There is actually a description of a glorification of Krishna himself. Shloka 9. Suhure mitrarya udasina madhyasta dvesya bandhushu sadhushu apicha papeshu sama buddhi vishishyate. One who looks upon well-wishers, friends, enemies, neutral people, arbitrators, envious people, relatives, saintly persons, and sinners with equal vision is even more exalted. In other words, they see that they are all Atmas and Amsas of Krishna. But that doesn't mean that you can equally interact with everyone in that manner. Unless you're like Shukadeva Goswami, some Param Bhagavad who is completely aloof from everything, then he'll act with everyone the same, he will not care. But those who actually in the process of sadhana, then they have to act according to their visibility, interact with everyone according to their position. Even our Guru Varga, great Mahabhagavad Vaishnavas, they come down to this level and they interact with us according to our level so that we make progress. Bhavanuva, Suhrid means one who is a well-wisher by nature. Mitra means one who performs welfare work out of affection. Ari refers to one who is violent or a killer. Udasina means one who is indifferent to quarreling parties. Madhyastha means one who is an arbitrator for opposing parties. Dveshya means one who is envious and acts harmfully. Bandhu means a relative. Sadhu means a saintly, dharmic person. And Papi means a sinful, adharmic person. One who regards all these types of people with an equal mind, seeing them all alike, is considered to be a most distinguished and excellent person. Such a person is superior to those who look upon a grain of sand, stone and gold equally. The Vaishnavas are like this. Even if the greatest simple person comes to the temple and shows even a small desire to do bhakti, the Vaishnava will take that and go miles with it. You give them an inch, they'll go miles. In other words, they'll send you towards Krishna very quickly. Just show a little desire, they'll quickly elevate you. Prakashika Vritti. In the previous sloka, a person who has equal vision toward a grain of sand, stone and gold and so forth was called a yogi. It's like Sanatana Goswami. He had the touchstone, threw it in a pile of rubble. And when the Brahmana from Varanasi came asking for gold, said, Shiva sent me, they said, okay, you can take that touchstone. And the Brahmana thought, wait a minute. As he was leaving, he thought, he threw this touchstone away and it's a piece of stone. Then he must have something more valuable. And he asked, what is that thing which you have which is more valuable than this? I actually want that. And Sanatana said, okay, throw this touchstone in the Ganga, in the Yamuna, come back. And he gave him Harinam. So, this is such a person is superior to those who look upon a grain of sand, stone, and gold equally. So someone who is seeing all people equally, he's more elevated than someone who sees gold and wealth equally or unequally. So we'll finish here today and we'll continue tomorrow. Today is the last day of Krishna Vrat. So we are finalizing our Vrat today. In the evening we'll hear some final words of Harikatha regarding our Krishna Vrat. From here. Gaur Vimananda Hare Hare Riva Jai Shukrupada Padma Ki Jai Guru Parampara Ki Jai Sachinandan Gaur Hare Ki Jai Saparsada Gaur Hare Ki Jai Vrindavan Ki Jai Keshav Vrat Ki Jai Vrat Pangari Bhakta Minna Ki Jai Keshav Vrat Samapti Vasati Mahamatsav Ki Jai Jai Shri Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Gaudi Vaishnavinna Ki Jai Samagata Bhakta Minna Ki Jai Jai Nidai Gautamananda Hare